April 1945. Somewhere over northern Germany. The sky burns. A lone P-51 Mustang dives through black smoke, its engine screaming, its aluminum skin torn apart by German anti-aircraft fire. Oil splashes across the windshield. Warning lights explode across the instrument panel. The cockpit fills with smoke. The American pilot pulls desperately on the stick. Nothing. Below him, enemy territory stretches for miles. German soldiers. Airfields. Searchlights. Flak batteries. No rescue. No friendly lines. No way home. The Mustang begins to die. At nearly 300 miles per hour, the aircraft loses altitude, dropping toward a landscape still controlled by the Third Reich. The pilot knows exactly what waits on the ground. Capture, interrogation, perhaps execution. The war is almost over. But almost is not enough. The engine finally seizes. The propeller stops. Silence fills the cockpit. The fighter that carried him through combat is now a falling piece of metal. He crash lands inside Germany as smoke rises from the wreckage. Every second increases the chance that German patrols will arrive. He is alone, unarmed, trapped behind enemy lines. And then he sees something impossible. Not a truck, not a train, not another American. A German fighter aircraft, intact, fueled, ready to fly. An enemy machine sitting on enemy soil while enemy soldiers move somewhere nearby. The aircraft carries black crosses on its wings. Its instruments are German. Its controls are unfamiliar. And if he is seen climbing into it, every Allied gun in the sky may mistake him for the enemy. Yet the alternative is simple. Stay and become a prisoner. In the final weeks of World War II, one American pilot faces a choice so unbelievable that it sounds like fiction: abandon hope and surrender, or steal a Luftwaffe fighter and attempt to fly home through a sky filled with both German and Allied guns. Most men would never consider it. Most pilots would never survive it. But somehow, against every rule of war, every law of probability, and every expectation of survival, one man climbs into an enemy aircraft and points it toward home. But this story doesn't begin here. To understand how an American pilot ends up flying a German fighter across a collapsing Reich, we have to go back. The war is entering its final chapter. By the spring of 1945, Germany is collapsing from every direction. Soviet armies push from the east. American and British forces advance from the west. Cities burn. Rail lines are destroyed. Fuel is disappearing. But the Luftwaffe still fights, and the skies over Germany remain deadly. American fighter pilots fly multiple missions every week. They escort bombers, attack trains, strafe convoys, and hunt enemy aircraft. Every mission carries the possibility of never returning. Among those pilots is Lieutenant William Bill Overstreet Jr. He flies the P-51 Mustang, one of the most feared fighters of the war. Fast, agile, and heavily armed, it gives Allied pilots the ability to escort bombers deep into enemy territory. But even the Mustang cannot protect its pilot from everything. On a mission over Germany, anti-aircraft fire reaches into the sky. Flak bursts around the aircraft. Black clouds of steel and fire. One explosion strikes close. Fragments tear through the Mustang. The aircraft begins losing power. Warning gauges fall. The engine struggles. The mission is over. Now survival begins. Overstreet understands the situation immediately. He is far from friendly territory. If he bails out, he lands inside Germany. If he remains in the aircraft, he risks crashing. The Mustang descends. Smoke follows behind. The ground grows larger. Fields, roads, forests, enemy territory. The aircraft finally reaches the earth in a violent landing. Metal bends. Dirt explodes around the wings. The fighter skids to a stop. For a moment there is silence. Then comes reality. German soldiers could arrive at any minute. Overstreet leaves the wreckage. He searches for cover. The war surrounds him. Artillery echoes in the distance. Aircraft pass overhead. Vehicles move along nearby roads. He is an American pilot alone inside the collapsing Reich. Many men in his position become prisoners. Some spend months in camps. Others never return. But fate places something extraordinary in his path. Nearby sits a German aircraft. A Messerschmitt fighter. Abandoned. The Luftwaffe is disintegrating. Fuel shortages, damaged airfields, and advancing Allied forces force German pilots to abandon equipment across the country. The aircraft appears intact. The engine has not been destroyed. The landing gear remains functional. For most men, it is simply an enemy plane. For Overstreet, it may be the only road home. But another problem appears immediately. He has never flown one. The cockpit instruments are German. The switches are unfamiliar. The engine behaves differently. Takeoff procedures are different. Even if the aircraft flies, he faces another impossible challenge. American pilots shoot German aircraft. Anti-aircraft batteries shoot German aircraft. Everyone shoots German aircraft. If he succeeds, he may be killed by his own side. Still, surrender guarantees capture. The choice becomes clear. He climbs inside. The cockpit feels foreign. German labels cover the instruments. Unknown gauges stare back at him. Outside, the war continues. Time disappears. Every second risks discovery. He studies the controls. He works through the unfamiliar system. The engine finally comes alive. The sound is different. The vibration feels wrong. But the machine lives. The German fighter begins moving. A strange sight unfolds on a German airfield. An American pilot taxis a Luftwaffe fighter toward takeoff. No one expects it. No one understands it. The aircraft accelerates. The wheels leave the ground. Suddenly, an American is flying one of Hitler's fighters. Below him lies a defeated nation. Ahead lies Allied territory. Between them waits danger from both sides. Every Allied pilot who sees him may attack. Every anti-aircraft battery may open fire. He cannot simply announce who he is. He cannot change the markings on the wings. He flies as quickly as possible. The front lines approach. Smoke rises from battlefields below. The war's final days consume Europe. The impossible slowly becomes reality. An American pilot has escaped enemy territory in an enemy aircraft. The war is ending. Germany is collapsing. Yet for one American pilot, survival depends upon trusting an aircraft built by the enemy. The same sky that nearly killed him may now save him, and the German fighter continues forward, across battle lines, across a dying Reich, toward freedom. The war eventually ends. Germany surrenders. The guns fall silent. Airfields become empty. And the aircraft that once fought for control of Europe slowly disappear into history. But some stories remain. William Overstreet's experience becomes one of those stories that sounds impossible when first heard. An American fighter pilot loses his aircraft over enemy territory and somehow returns by flying the enemy's machine. No military manual teaches such a thing. No training exercise prepares a pilot for it. War simply places a man in an impossible situation and asks him to decide. Overstreet's career earns recognition for courage and combat service. Like many veterans of the Second World War, he returns to civilian life carrying memories few people can fully understand. The generation that fought the war gradually grows smaller. Airfields vanish. Uniforms fade. Photographs become yellow with age. Yet these stories survive because they reveal something greater than military history. They reveal human character. What makes a man climb into an unfamiliar enemy aircraft? What makes him trust his own instincts when every circumstance is surrender? Perhaps it is courage. Perhaps it is desperation. Perhaps the two are sometimes the same thing. The final months of World War II produced countless heroes. Some command armies. Some lead charges. Some never fire another shot. And one American pilot simply refuses to stay behind enemy lines. His journey reminds us that survival often belongs not to the strongest or the most powerful, but to those willing to adapt when every plan has failed. The P-51 falls from the sky. The war closes around him. An enemy aircraft waits nearby. And history takes a turn nobody expects. Years later, the machines become museum pieces. The battlefields grow quiet. But the image remains. An American pilot alone in Germany, a German fighter beneath him, and home somewhere ahead. History remembers victories. History remembers generals. But sometimes, history remembers a man who looked at an impossible situation and decided that impossible was not enough. The war ended. The aircraft disappeared. But the lesson remained. When every path home is gone, courage sometimes builds a new one. And somewhere above the ruins of collapsing empire, an American pilot flew an enemy fighter toward freedom, proving that some stories are too extraordinary to be invented. Some stories simply happen, and those are the ones history never forgets.